Hola, ¿qué tal? Para esta lección vamos a hablar de los verbos irregulares en el imperfecto. So we're going to take a look at the irregular verbs in the imperfect. Once again, just to recap, the imperfect is a form of the past tense. It's different than the preterite. The preterite is used for talking about completed actions. The imperfect is used to talk about a few different things. Let me recap for you really quick what those things are. One, background. So if you're telling a story, it could be used to get background information like what the sky looked like, what the weather was like, what the building over there looked like, kind of background information that's going on. Number two, habit, what someone did as a matter of habit in the past. Like when I was a kid, I played with dolls every day. That would be something that you did as a matter of habit. Something that was habitual, repetitive, things you did over and over again. That's the imperfect. Number three was age, talking about how old somebody is. You're going to use the imperfect. Number four, time, if you're telling a time, what time it was. It was 3 o'clock, it was 1 o'clock, you're going to use the imperfect. And then lastly, I said that to think about the imperfect as ongoing in the past. If you think about the imperfect as being ongoing and the preterite as being completed actions, when it comes time to have to distinguish between the two, if you can remember that the imperfect is the ongoing in the past, it will help you, for the most part, help you distinguish between the two. So I'm going to give you the 3 irregular verbs in the imperfect. That's right, there's only 3. The preterite, it seems like there's a billion irregular verbs. In the imperfect, however, there are only 3, which is why people like the imperfect a lot more. It's just because it's just the 3 verbs. You can't substitute the imperfect for the preterite, but it's easier to learn. So the first verb will be ser. Ser means to be. The conjugations of ser. And the imperfect will be era, eras, era, éramos, erais, eran. So this would be used to talk about like what somebody was like. Yo era gordo. So it'd be like saying I was fat, for example. I can be used for other things too, like telling time too, like eran las dos. It was 2 o'clock. The next verb will be ir. Iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, ibais, iban. So ir would be like you can use to talk about where you went when you were a kid. Yo iba al parque con mi familia todos los días. I went to the park every day with my family, for example. And then the last verb in the imperfect that is irregular is ver. Veía, veías, veía, veíamos, veíais, veían. So ver, while it is irregular, it's not too bad. Basically, instead of dropping the ER and then adding your ending to it, you keep the you keep the E, and then you add your ia, ias, ia, like you would for another ER verb. So those are your 3 irregular verbs in the imperfect, the ongoing in the past. What I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to give you 5 questions and answers up on the screen here. What you need to do is pick the correct verb, ser, ir, or ver, and conjugate it for me correctly in the imperfect in both the question and the answer. And then I'll come back and I'll give you the answers to those. So once the screen comes up with the questions and answers on them, pause the video, see if you can figure out would this verb be ser, ir, or ver in the imperfect. Put it there, conjugate it, and then we'll check your answers. Okay, so now that you've taken your time to pause the video, write down your answers, I will give you my answers, and if the answer doesn't make sense to you and you need explanation, go ahead and get in touch with me, email me, what have you, and then I'll get back to you. Uno would be era and eran. Remember when you say what time is it in present tense, say que hora es. You're going to put that in the imperfect, que hora era. And then for the answer, in the present tense, you'd normally say son las tres for it is 3 o'clock, but you're going to put that into the imperfect, so it would be eran las tres. Dos, that adonde at the beginning of the question, number 2, to where kind of indicates that you're going to use the verb to go. So ibas for you, adonde ibas. And then in the answer, since it's yo, it'd be iba, yo iba a Sacramento. Tres, since we're talking about TV, you can probably guess it's going to be ver, and since it's in the 2 form, it'd be veías, and then the answer would be sí, yo veía, veía. Cuatro, we're asking something about your dad when you were 10 years old, so we're asking what was he like, and to do that we're going to use the verb ser, so ser in the imperfect for he would be era, and in your answer, we're still talking about him, so it would be the same, era alto y fuerte. Y número 5, so it's talking about going on vacation, so you're probably going to think the verb ir, which is correct. So since it's you, it would be ibas again. And then in your answer, you're going to respond with yo, so it would be iba. If any of those answers need more explanation or need more help with them, just send me a message and I will get back to you and explain it to you. So remember again, the imperfect, ongoing in the past. There are only 3 irregular verbs in the imperfect, ser, ir, and ver, which I just gave to you in this video. And in my other video, I showed you how to conjugate the regular verb contar, or regular AR verbs like contar, and then an ER verb like comer, and an IR verb like vivir. So that's the imperfect for you, ongoing in the past. If you have any questions, hit me up.